Well, welcome back to Broken Electronics yet again. My name's Lee, and today I'm going to do upgrades on my 2008 Mac Pro. Really, I am. For sure. Really. I'm not going to get sidetracked. We're going to put in RAM, we're going to put in a new graphics card, do some benchmarks, and see what's up with that machine. It's the kind of thing I find very interesting. I tend to make videos about things I'm interested in. I hope you're interested in it too. So if you are, stay tuned. This time I mean it. I really mean it. I'm going to put that RAM and that graphics card into that Mac, the Mac Pro 2008. Really, that's what I'm going to do. I will not get sidetracked. Now, the first thing obviously should be getting a baseline, so we should run the Geekbench benchmarks on the machine as it's currently configured. That is with the dual quad-core CPUs. So, yeah, we'll take another look. Once we get the machine booted up, we'll be taking another look and go from there. So please stay tuned. Well, welcome to the Capitan desktop on the Mac Pro 3,1. We shall now prove to you that that's where we are. Capitan version 10.11.6. This is the highest version of the operating system that this machine supports natively. The DOS-Dude 1 patchers do work on the 3,1, so we could conceivably go up as far as Catalina. Alright, we see here 2 by 2.8 gigahertz quad-core Intel Xeons. Now, it is true that the 5,1 2010 machine had at first only one. We'll see what kind of difference that makes. I would imagine it will make a difference in the multi-core score, although let us remember we've got 2 years removed in the Intel Xeon architecture. So we have 16 gigabytes of 667 megahertz DDR2, so that's a decided step down, there's no question. Alright, and yes, the ATI Radeon HD 2600 XT at a whopping 256 megabytes. And looking quickly in System Profiler, and there we see the Mac Pro 3,1. Well, let's start up Geekbench. Again, I'll point out, as I did in the last video, I have a license for Geekbench 5. Unfortunately, my license in Geekbench 5 does us no good here. Alright, so we're going to run the CPU benchmark. Incidentally, that old graphics card will not even allow the compute benchmark to run. So we ought to get a surprise there the next time around. Alright, so we're going to run the CPU benchmark. And while this runs, we will stop the recording and pick it up once we have a result to show you. Well, we're back. For the record, it took a little less than 4 minutes to get the benchmark done, and we can see our score is 1868 for the single core and 10,088 for the multi-core. Now we can compare that quickly with the original score of the 5,1. As we would have expected, the single core score is substantially higher than what we see here. That's 2 years of improvements, even though it's fundamentally the same speed. and same core count. And again, as we expected, the multi-core score. Remember, this was the four cores, pardon me. And this is 8 cores because of the dual processor. And unsurprisingly, the 2008 comes out on top of the 2010 in the multi-core, simply because it has a lot more cores. It's not a gigantic difference. It's not double the difference, even though we have double the cores, but it is a noticeable difference. Now, if we were to go back and look at the upgraded scores, well, yeah. So, it's going to be interesting. Now, I will be interested in seeing what exactly comes of the scores, because we're not touching the CPUs, at least not yet. What we are doing, however, is doubling the amount of RAM that's in the system. So, this should be interesting. If you find it as interesting as I do, I suggest that you please stay tuned. Okay, I have laid the 2008 Mac Pro on its side, and I've taken advantage while I was in there, since it's a little fiddly to do. This is the power cord for the upgraded graphics card. There are 2 mini 6-pin power connectors on the logic board there. I plugged it in already because it's kind of a pain to reach in there and get it in, so I just went ahead and did it. So the mini 6-pin goes to a regular 6-pin. If you can see that there on the other end, and that goes into the graphics card. Now, flashlight doesn't want to cooperate with me. Batteries are dying. Well, I'll replace that. All right. The PCIe slots have got little retainer clips on the end of them, so that would need to be moved out of the way before we remove the old graphics card. And we have here slots. The retention is exactly the same as that on the 2010 Mac Pro. Use thumb screws. And fortunately, they do have, there we go, they do have Phillips head openings there, so you can use a screwdriver if you're having trouble. Now, I have also taken the opportunity to bring in a spare slot cover so we can get rid of this tape that's on the end there. So, once we've done that with the graphics card, then we have the RAM to deal with. Alright, so I'm going to end this clip right now, see if I can get the camera set up on a tripod enough for you to be able to see exactly what's going on. So, stay tuned. Well, trying to record things like this are so rarely successful. You can see any number of YouTube videos of someone's hands as they try to pull things out of Mac Pros and insert things into Mac Pros. But I'm going to give it a shot here. I have taken the opportunity, I've removed that retention bar, and I have removed that crazy piece of tape that was being used to replace a missing slot, and I put the slot cover back in. All right, now what I have to do here is lift up on the retention bar, and then the old graphics card simply comes right out. Now I get a direct comparison of old and new here. You see we've got a lot more going on with this one. Now I do have to, now that I think of it, I could easily have put this slot cover in, but what the heck. All right, now, trying to get this in. Is a little tricky. Okay, we've got that in there. Seems like we're fully in. All right. And then connect the power. Oh, I was going to get a new flashlight. Okay, I see what's going wrong. All the way up to the top here. Maybe I was wrong with this. I thought I remembered that this was, oh, obviously it has to go this way, that it was easier to plug the cord in. Nope, I'm obviously wrong. So I'm going to take this card back out, which is a pain trying to get the clip. Okay. Now, there we go. And now, yeah, okay, so there's that. Now, move this a little bit. The other day I was trying to remove, oh, that was dumb. So, we're going to reach in there again. Pull the card out again. And get this NVRAM battery out of there. It's a pain to get at. Let me see. Get a flathead in here. Okay, that's, boy, they really, they don't want you to get that out of there, do they? Oh, that was dumb. Okay, that's what we need. Man, this thing just does not want to come out. Now, it's not dead. There we go. Yeah, that's out. Oh, man. Okay. So we take our new battery. it should. I wish I thought to do this before putting the graphics card in. Okay, now let's get the graphics card slotted back in. Okay. No, I sure made that harder than I needed to. All right. Now, getting the RAM trace out. 2 holes here, and you just pull. All right. Wow, you look at those heat sinks. Let me check to see if you can see. Yeah, you can see pretty well. Let me get one of these out. Man, as opposed to the heat sinks on the new modules. Wow. Securing that light. Yeah, it really doesn't want to go on. Let's see. It should work. That's what you get for cheaping out in the RAM, isn't it? All right. It matches up. Let's try down here. Well, okay, I had better pause this while I fiddle, so stay tuned. Yeah, it's really only me being an idiot. I think I was just trying to put it in backwards. Oh, I've been doing this too long today. Here we go. There's 16 gig for the top slot. Slide that back in. And we're in place. Make sure it's in place. All right, now for the lower tray. I think you see why I don't usually record these things, because then I can do dumb things off camera. Can't believe I did that. There we go. Yeah, it pops in just fine. All right. And then this one. And that's in place. Okay, we've got a new NVRAM battery. We have new graphics card, complete with power. We have new RAM seated into place. We have new slot cover. Yay. This one's harder to get at. There we go. There's a screwdriver here. Okay. And complete with slot cover. All right, so I'm going to get the door back on this, get it stood up and connected, and hopefully it still works. So, stay tuned. Well, for the record, I did get the sticker residue off the handles. Isopropyl alcohol and elbow grease. Note to self, don't ever put a sticker on a computer. All right, we'll be back with it booted up in just a moment. Here we are again. The machine is put back together, and obviously everything connected up because, I mean, take a look. All right, about this Mac, let's see what we've done. All right, 32 gigabytes of 667 megahertz DDR2 RAM. All right, and the graphics card, ATI Radeon HD 5770, and there's that gigabyte of video RAM. Whew. All right, it's been a long day. Okay, well, let's have that Geekbench. And we're going to run CPU benchmark. Okay, it's running. That obviously is going to take a few minutes, so we will pause this and bring you back when I have results for you. So, okay, the compute result is in 10,535. That obviously is a huge improvement since the old graphics card would not even run the test. And as I'm recalling, that's I didn't hang on to that 5,1 score, but this is in the ballpark, certainly. So we're good. Now, I did do one other thing here. I ran the CPU test again, and this time this is pre-upgrade, on the left is post-upgrade. We came up a little bit higher on both. So at least I can feel now that my work of upgrading the RAM did something, and obviously upgrading the GPU did quite a bit. Alright, now I am almost certainly going to do a CPU upgrade. We can go to from the 2.8 quads to 3.2 quads. That's something. And see where that takes us. That's going to take probably quite a while for that stuff to come in. And, you know, having gone this far, I am really, really tempted to simply go ahead and upgrade the RAM again, because that's about what's left here. I mean, there are possible graphics cards upgrades, although I think we're good with where we are. Once we get the processor upgraded and perhaps the RAM upgraded, you know, we'll be using the DOS Dude 1 patchers and move ahead from El Cap, my 1,1 is held at El Capitan, so certainly El Capitan is going to be there. And as for right now, you know what I'm going to do with this machine? I'm going to set it up to work at least for a while on the Folding at Home project. And I think that might be something of interest. I probably should do another update on where I'm at personally with folding and where the IMNC team is at folding. So that'll be upcoming too. At any rate, that should be the end of this video, shouldn't it? Well then, be good to other people. They surely deserve it. Be good to yourselves. You absolutely deserve it. Take very, very good and careful care. We're going to be back with you, obviously, with more videos soon, because I'm already getting more ideas. This has been, of course, a Broken Electronics video. Do take care.